Today I'm going to explain how to create a title block. So first of all, launch Revit, and instead of choosing models or families options, click on this arrow, File, New, and select title block. And let's say I want to create a one sheet size title block. Click OK. And the next thing I want to do is save the file. So if I click Ctrl S, go to Options, and let's say the maximum number of backups I want just one, click OK. I'm gonna save it on my desktop and I'll call it A1 title block. Click Save. Here we have the A1 sheet size limits, and we can double check that just to make sure Revit doesn't cheat. So if I click DI and to measure the size, (841) by 594, we're good to go. I'm gonna press Ctrl Z to undo it. Now I wanted to create the border, so I'm gonna set this limit lines by 21 millimeters. So if I go to the Modify tab, Modify panel, click on the Offset command. I make sure that Copy tick box is checked, and as I said, I want 21 millimeters. And if I hover over this line and press Tab, click it, press Escape a couple of times. Let's create the project information bit, but I don't want to use the same lines I used to draw these lines. I wanted to create a new line style, and to do that I need to go to the Manage tab, Settings panel, click on the Object Styles button, click New, and I'll call it Project Inf Gray, and I make sure that I choose title blocks from the subcategory of field. Click OK. As well as that, I want to change the color to RGB 128, 128, 128. Click OK. Click OK. Let's offset these lines by 3 millimeters. If I go to the Modify tab, Modify panel, select the Offset command, and type 3 millimeters. I'm gonna offset this one by 3. This one by 3, and this one by 3. I'm gonna offset this line by 100 millimeters, and then by 3 millimeters. Press Escape a couple of times. It's time to trim them. If I go to the Modify tab, Modify panel, and select Trim command, and trim it just like so. Press Escape a couple of times. Press ZA to zoom all. Now I want to copy this line down, so if I zoom in, select the line, press CO for copy. Make sure that Constrain and multiple tick boxes are checked. So if I select the line, go down by 59 millimeters, then 20, then 3, then 165.2, then 3, 130.8, 3, 45, 31, 13, 13 again, 13, 13 one more time, 21. Oops, delete this line and copy this line down by 21. Press Escape a couple of times. And finally, I need to trim these bits, but before trimming them, I need to split them. So if I go to the Modify panel, Modify tab, Modify panel, and select the split command. So if I split it there, just like so. Press escape a couple of times. Press TR for trim. Just trim it. Just like so. And finally, the last one. Press escape a couple of times. Press ZA to zoom all, and as I said, I don't want these lines to be the same as these ones, so if I select it, I want to unselect this one. So if I click on it by holding the shift key down, click on this one by holding the shift key down, and if I go to the subcategory, click on this drop down arrow and select Project Info Gray line style we created earlier. Press escape a couple of times. So if I zoom in, you can see the difference. This one is RGB 128, 128, 128, which is gray. Press ZA to zoom all. These three fields I'm gonna leave empty for my logo and any other additional information. And here I want to insert my revision schedule, and to do that I need to go to the View tab, Create panel, and click on the revision schedule. In the revision properties dialog, all I need is revision number, description and date, so I can remove revision sequence, but you can add whatever is needed for your project. Then I go to the sorting and grouping area. I make sure it's sorted by revision number and it's ascending. In the formatting area, I make sure that revision number is aligned to the center, and I uncheck show conditional format on sheets tick box. Revision description, I want to leave it as it is, but uncheck this show conditional format on sheets. And when it comes to revision date, I want it to be aligned to the center, and I uncheck this tick box. And finally, in the appearance area, I want it to be top down, and I don't want to see titles, so I uncheck show titles. As soon as I press OK, it will bring me to the revision schedule area. And the first thing I want to do is rename it just to make it a bit shorter, and also resize the column widths. So this one is going to be just number, and I'm going to make it 15 millimeters. Press OK. This one I'm going to get rid of the revision and make it 49 millimeters wide. And this one again I'm going to delete revision and resize it to 30 millimeters. Now that the schedule is ready, I want to drag it to the allocated section. So if I drag it to this area and position it where it needs to be, just like so. Press escape a couple of times. Press ZA to zoom all. And I'm going to demonstrate it how it works as soon as I create a new project later on. It's time to create some textual information, and I'll start from a client name. If I go to the Create tab, Text panel, click on the Label button, and as soon as I indicate where I want the label to be, it brings up the Edit Label dialog box. And the only parameter I need is client name, so I I choose client name. I can leave sample value to be as client name. Click OK. Slightly resize it. I make sure that horizontal alignment is center and vertical alignment is top is good enough. So if I move it slightly up and also resize it just like so, and slightly to the left, press escape a couple of times. And the next thing I want to do is copy this label down 3 times, just like so. I'm gonna, this is good enough, and I'm gonna move this one slightly down, that's fine. And I want to change this label to, I'm gonna delete this one and find project name. Okay. This one I'm gonna change to, I'm gonna delete this one first and sheet name. Okay. And finally this one I'm gonna change to sheet number. I find the sheet number parameter, select it, I can leave it as it is, click OK, press escape a couple of times, and finally I make sure that the vertical alignment is middle, that's fine, vertical alignment is middle, and this one vertical alignment I want it to be bottom. Press Z8 to zoom all. Next I want to create some text, not the label, so if I go to the Create tab, text panel, and click on the text button, and I want my text to be 3 millimeters, not 8 millimeters. So if I go to the Edit type, duplicate it, name it 3 millimeters, press OK, change the text size to 3 millimeters as well. Okay, I'm gonna call it project number. I'm gonna shift it slightly to the left and slightly up, just like so. And next I want to copy it down 4 times. So if I select the text, press CO for copy and copy it down, just like so. Press escape a couple of times. I'm gonna rename this one to date. This one I'm gonna rename to drawn by. This one is gonna be checked. By, and finally this one is going to be scale. Press escape a couple of times, press Z8 to zoom all. Next I want to create labels next to the text I just created. So if I go to the Create tab, text panel, label, I want this label to be 5 millimeters. I've got no 5 millimeters, so if I go to the Edit type, duplicate this one and call it 5 millimeters. Text size is going to be 5 millimeters as well. So if I click here and I want to find project number parameter, I select this one, move it to the right hand side, click OK, and let's get back. Let's say sample value is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and I want to align it horizontally to the left, to the right, sorry. And the vertical alignment is going to be middle. Okay, I'm going to shift it slightly to the left, slightly up and down. And now I need to copy it 3 times. So if I copy it 3 times down, I'm gonna edit this one. I'm gonna remove project number and find date, sheet issue date, sorry. It's gonna be sheet issue date, this one. Yep. And I'm gonna name it to date. I'm gonna update this one as well. Remove it. Find drawn by. Okay, yep. I'm happy with that. Update this one. Remove. Find checked by. Yep, that's the one. Okay. Press escape a couple of times. Press ZA to zoom all. When it comes to scale, I prefer to create family parameters. To do that, I need to go to the Modify tab, Properties panel, click on the Family Types button, click on the New Parameters button, and the first family parameter I'm gonna name Scale 20. It's gonna be a family parameter. Instance. Discipline is common. Type of parameter, yes, no. And group parameter under visibility. Yep, I'm happy with that. In the same manner, I'm gonna create 1 to 50, 1 to 100, and as indicated. And finally click OK. Next, I wanted to create a 5mm text for my scales. So if I go to the Create tab, Text panel, Text button, I've got now 5mm text, so I need to duplicate one. I click Edit Type, Duplicate, name it 5mm, OK, and change the text size to 5mm as well. Okay. I'm gonna call this one 1 to 20. And copy it down 3 times. I'm gonna name this one as 1 to 50. This one is gonna be 1 to 100, and this one is going to be as indicated. So now I make sure that each individual scale is associated with its own parameter. So if I click on 1 to 20 and associated with its parameter, same with 150. 100, and the same with as indicated. And now I'm gonna move everything to its place. sure that it's transparent. Yep, just like so. And finally, as indicated. Press ZA to zoom out. Now that we have created our own title block, it's time to test it. So if I go to File, New, Project, OK. Right click on Sheets, New Sheet, load it from my desktop, A1 title block, open, OK. And the first thing I want to do is create some fake revisions. So if I go to the View tab, Sheet Composition, Revisions, it's going to be numeric. The date is going to be 19/01/2020, and let's say it's column A, and I'm going to create 3 revisions. I'm going to copy this one, 2021. Copy this one. It's going to be column B. This one is going to be column C. If I go to numbering options, numeric, I'm happy with that, but I'm going to add prefix P0. OK. OK. And if I go to Sheet Properties and Revisions on Sheet, if I edit it and check all the tick boxes, click OK, and I can see that everything is working. It's in the ascending order, and the numbering is aligned to the center, description is aligned to the left hand side, and date is aligned to the center. So if I select the sheet and check everything apart from 100, it is working. Sheet name is going to be floor plan. Yep. And let's change it to M101. Yep. I'm gonna put today's date, which is 19/09/2020. Author, my initials. Checker. Okay. Yep, it is working. And to change owner, client name, project name and project number, I would need to go to the Manage tab, Settings panel, Project Information. So if I change client name to Revit Advisor, project name London, and project number is 323. Okay. Yep. Everything is working. So if I press Z to zoom out, there are many ways of how to organize things when it comes to title block. So play around with it and choose whatever you like.